Hi friends and family, welcome to You Plug. Welcome to the plug that keeps you plugged in. Thank you very much friends and family for tuning in, for joining, for stopping by. We really do appreciate the support you continue to give to this channel, and if you happen to be here for the first time, please subscribe, turn on your post notifications so that when we upload you will be notified. And if you happen not to know who this guy is, nagi opa wa garamalagana gimnar nom su do gata fasa wa shadu gata gas gingi gidan gamazul gamna na tutursa gi goble werta watro mor mutul ko mati swane buda komo otwara motu. And I'm not alone friends, you can see today we have normally they call them what, a rose among the thorns.
Which thorns? We can be the thorn. The roses among the thorns.
Right, over to you, Meg.
I was actually thinking that when we started, we should have done this and say, let the people guess who.
Guess who the person is.
Right, friends and family, welcome to You Plug. I am Mag. I'm the head and not the tail. I'm above and not beneath. I'm a child of the Most High God, blessed and highly favored, a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a nation belonging to God, to declare the praises of Him who has called me out of darkness into the beautiful world of relationships. And it is a pleasure and an honor to be with you today, friends and family, under such anointing. Can feel that the presence is here.
Yes.
It's more than ever, because when two or more are gathered, now it's the more
Now
that are gathered. And yes, we are with our friend here today. Take it away.
Hello friends and family, welcome to You Plug. My name is
Yes.
Tabang.
That sounds good when you say it.
Yeah, it feels good. I'm super cool and these are my best friends.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I like your clan phrases. I'm super cool.
Yeah,
and
I'm
my
just-
best friend.
I
Yes.
think I'm just super cool.
Yes, why not? We think so too. Friends, we are here. Tapang, please tell us what are we talking about today?
So today I have the pleasure and the honor to introduce today's topic, and today we are talking about moving on from hurt that is caused by unmet expectations.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's a difficult topic for me to have because, you know, I have
Hey.
experience.
I'm sure for everyone.
Yeah, for everyone. So I don't know. Do you guys want to have at it?
Yeah.
Hey. I can't relate. I'll leave this one to you guys.
I mean, relationships are tricky, but also more especially when you are really interested in a relationship, when you want to see it grow, when you kind of have expectations and desires that this will grow. And I think also it's almost the same as, you know, being in a dating, whether it's marriage or engaged or whatever relationship, and you know you have to pack your bags and go because it didn't work out. Maybe you are unmet expectations. And I think I would be happy if we kind of also talk about how do you then recover from that? How do you move on from that when it didn't work? Because I mean, relationship may and may not work. Yeah.
Do you maybe take a look at your expectations in a way? What I mean is, do you, I don't know, what's the word? Analyze, for lack of a better word, but I'm looking for a specific one.
Yeah.
Where you revisit your expectations and you think, was this realistic enough? Was, you know what I mean? In terms of, I don't know, reality.
Yeah.
Maybe your expectation was too high to be met, or it was, I don't know, just unrealistic.
Yeah.
Do you maybe have to revisit before you say, okay, I'm done, I'm moving on, it wasn't met, it's not the right person for me, I'm not doing this anymore? Because you don't want to be too I don't know, harsh or rush into a decision without maybe going back and thinking to yourself, okay, was this good? You know, was this okay? Was this an expectation that was going to be able to be met by a human being? You know what I mean?
But what are you going through? Hey, this is deep.
I'm trying to listen, and I'm like, but I'm glad that you put it that way. I feel like it's also a question that's also leading to the answer. I think most of the times the break ups can be caused by unmet expectations of how I'm expecting you to relate to with me versus how you are really relating. And sometimes these things are not just coming from vacuum. It's sometimes, you know, you are in a relationship where you get these things, where, you know, it's not necessarily that you are projecting those stuff. It's maybe sometimes you are getting this thing, you are getting whatever expectations they are being met sometime, and then later on they are not being met, and you keep on longing for
the first love.
for the first
Yeah, no, I feel you.
yeah, you keep on longing for this, and sometimes you question yourself, am I being realistic or unrealistic? Sometimes you have to, I think for me, work on what is presented before you now than the past, but also obviously I think as we explore we'll speak about communicating expectations. Meg, what's your view?
It's an interesting one. And I mean, the reason that I say that, I mean, I would take it from the advantage that I think the analyzing process and the revisiting is important.
Yeah.
But the why, I think, is even more important. Are you revisiting to become a better person, or revisiting so that you can go back and into that same relationship? Because and the reason I say the why is because if you're doing it to go back, you might just be addicted to this person and their presence and all of that, which is unhealthy. That you cannot be so reliant on a person that you want to change everything about you in order to stay there. So I think the why is important, and I think also the assessing is important. We are growing, we are developing, and we are changing, and I think it's important to analyze and see, because there are times where you become a red flag yourself. You need to analyze and be able to call yourself out and say, okay, no, this was not right. I'm doing this for, and we talked about being in a healthy relationship, setting up goals for a healthy relationship. So a healthy relationship does not necessarily mean that it will become a success and it will lead up to marriage, but it's the environment is just conducive for you and the other person, that even when you guys break up, you guys are still intact. So I think it's a very important question that we're tackling now, because I think Opes, you kind of mentioned it in the beginning, this whole the space. Let me just pause it at that.
But I'm also thinking of Kutsapang's question. At what point do you decide, all right, no, I'm packing and going? It's done. It's not working.
Because it's not easy to just be done, right?
Yeah. And in every relationship, be it friendship, be it marriage, be it dating, be it whatever, just to come to that point to say, I've had enough, or I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I want to find my way out of this relationship. I think that's a very you must have done serious assessment. I think what makes things difficult, in my opinion, is uncommunicated expectations. Like, even if it's what I am receiving initially and I'm not receiving it and I keep on longing, but the fact that I did not communicate, uncommunicated expectations becomes a serious issue, because if you do not communicate expectations, at what point, what do you use then to measure whether this relationship is working or not?
No, you lose the Lord. That the Lord said to me that this is not, you are not the one. So obviously we'll pray about these things. We ask for courage to eventually send that text and say, it's over.
Why should it be a text, Opa?
I mean, it shouldn't be a text. I think it should be face to face.
Why shouldn't it be a text, Opa?
I'm just saying, sometimes, you just want to
Yeah.
Say, I don't want your response.
I don't want to see you.
I don't want to hear from you. Let's just take it from where it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, in my opinion, that is when the relationship has become toxic. Yeah. That's when because if the relationship had not become toxic, I can come before you, I can sit with you and say, you know what? This is not working for us. It's not working for me. But the fact that I can't even stand your presence, or I don't want to hear your response, or I don't want this to be a discussion. It's when it had crossed to toxicity. That's my opinion. It's not a general fact, but that's my opinion, because we have to come to a space where we are able to talk and say, we are not agreeing on this point.
Yeah.
Or this is how I feel about how you behave towards me. So we need to come to that point. If it comes to a point where I don't want to see you, I don't want to hear from you, just cut myself out of you.
I think I have a question, maybe to the both of you. I mean, speak
Starting with
about.
Tapang.
I mean, there are people who do not have that ability. Is it ability or the whatever to communicate?
So it's not
clearly.
that for
Ability
them,
to sorry.
Okay, I'm okay to sit before you and
after
and
it's
speak.
done.
Not necessarily after it's done, but when
But to
they
raise
feel like it's
conflicting
not.
situation.
Yeah. So I'm not necessarily riding on the text versus thing, but in that. Okay, let me just give a scenario that there's somebody who feels like it's better just to say it's over than to say these were my expectations and they were not met, because they feel like it's not reason enough. It's not ground enough. What do you say to this person who feels like these are expectations that mean a lot to me and they are not met, but I don't think it will translate the same way to the next person, to the partner? I don't know if that's clear.
Don't you set the expectations before you go into the relationship?
No, we all don't.
You
Not all of
should.
us do. Not all of us do. So let's speak to the one who's already in that relationship now and has.
It was not going to work from the start because you didn't make clear your expectations. So now your partner doesn't know how to meet your expectation because they don't know what they are.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. I think I agree with that.
Because then we're just vibing the whole time. We don't know what the other one wants. We're just vibing.
We're just
Until
working,
it doesn't
going
work
with what
out.
works.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't work, we can't resolve that.
That's not a healthy from the start. It's just unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there are people like that, like you're saying.
Yeah.
No, that's.
Oh,
I don't know how to speak to you guys. I'm just saying, like, before you go into it, just say expectations.
yeah. I mean, sometimes, really, you meet someone, be it friendship or someone that you want to be in a relationship, like a romantic relationship with. You meet them, you start liking each other, start enjoying each other's vibe and energy and all of those things. I think there need to come a point. If you feel that your heart is deep in it too much, I think there need to come a point where you draw the line and communicate expectations. Because if you go all out with, what do we normally call when I'm catching feelings, and if you just go up with that without explaining and putting stop to these feelings, the crush is going to be
Crushed.
it's going to be. I like that. It's going to be hectic. I think if we know, we can see, especially when we are adults, you can see that this is becoming more than friendship. So we need to find a space where we apply brakes to say, do you see what's happening here? Do we move on with this, or do we cut? Maybe one person may be more aware than the other, but bringing that awareness into play, I think that's better. But I want to go back to Tsapang's initial question. At what point do you decide, cut? And I'm going back to that not because I have an answer. I'm going back to it because I think that's an interesting question. Because many people are in relationships where they don't want to be in it, but you keep on wanting so many signs that this is not for me. You know.
And you watch Uplag to confirm those signs.
To confirm. Yeah. I mean, you keep on looking. Okay, he's not doing this, but he's doing this. He's
So
not doing
maybe
this,
I
but
can-
maybe I can, maybe I cannot. Maybe I should hold on a little bit. Maybe I'm being, you know, how do you, at what point do you decide? I think, I don't know at what point, but I think it's going to even make it even more difficult if the expectations were not communicated, because we use expectations to kind of sieve and navigate this relationship. We navigate it on the basis of expectations. If expectations are not met, we need to come back and say, these are the expectations, and how do we move on from that? But how do you move on from that if you're already in a broken relationship? For me, I think the best thing we can ever do is to acknowledge that, you know, I'm hurt. I'm in a very painful situation here. Acknowledge that pain. So I want to say, acquaint yourself with what is real to you at that point. Don't try to avoid. You know, the thing is, we're not, most of the time, especially as Christians, we're not good with dealing with emotions and emotional issues. We rather if I'm feeling certain way, if I'm uncomfortable with how I'm feeling, I would rather put a loud music or something just to keep myself away from dealing with this reality. So you have to sit with that uncomfortable pain or that uncomfortable vibe. Allow yourself to experience that. Allow yourself to experience that pain, but also do that before you decide to move on to the next. Do that analysis. You need to check of this thing that I'm going through. How much of this is my own doing, and how much of this is someone else's doing? You know, you can only control what is your own doing. If it was because of someone else, they need to deal with that. But you need to control, be it, because sometimes we enable people to treat us certain way. We enable situations or people to talk to us certain way, to treat us certain way. So we need to know which part of this is our doing and which part of this is our. We need to deal and fix our doing. Another person, unfortunately,
What if you have nothing to do with what's happening, and it's, you know, the other party is just...
If you have, that's a good one. If you have honestly done that assessment, and without even deceiving yourself, if you have honestly done that assessment, then you don't own up to people's misbehavior and people's incompetencies and immaturities and all. Don't try to own up to that. Just
basically just go.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
Just go.
like a host there.
Go now.
Just leave.
So at what point did you? I mean, what point do you decide? At what point do you decide? Okay, I know. Let's leave. Cut.
Yeah, no, cut. Make you are taking this out of hands now. We are not pointing to any person here. We are talking about moving on from unmet
Expectation hurts.
from pain, because relationships, much as we hope that they will turn out this way, you know, there's that thing that we need to move out.
Yeah, because some people are also very sensitive, so moving on is not an easy concept. Because of their sensitivity, they always want to think about why, how, could I have, should I have, how, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because after that, the reality of it ending, you have to see them, because this is not your world. You don't just people don't just disappear. You have to still see these people at the mall, at church, or just, I don't know, the shopping center, because unless you stay at home and you do nothing with your life.
Maybe choir with them.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Guys, don't do that.
No, okay.
Don't do that to yourself. Unless you're Antogosa and Nubeg, and then it just works.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, But it's not easy for people who are, I don't know, just sensitive and
Invested.
Right, and
Yeah.
emotional. Because you thought to yourself, this is going to work, this is my wife, this is my husband.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it doesn't work, and you have to move on from that because it's not going to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How does a person, like that, move on from that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's $1 million.
Yeah, because you get people like that.
Yeah.
So to somebody who is there, it's difficult to for my life, who's already there. It's difficult now to. I think it's a process of moving from there. But to someone who's not already there,
Yeah.
we're already saying now.
Yeah, we're already saying now,
Like,
stay away from the worship team.
Like,
That's what I'm saying.
be careful how much you invest.
Yeah.
Like what your level of investment, and that's why we talked in the previous episode of is this long term, is this short term, where are we, where is this going? It's important because
No, I'm sympathizing with this category of people that Sepang has just mentioned, and even also a situationship where you don't know, it's a situation where you like each other a lot, but you don't know where to move from there. It could be that, but also it could exactly be what Sepang is saying, that you are in this with this person, you are hoping that it will work. Just I think moving on from there, it's going to take a lot of courage.
Good friends.
Good friends. Yeah.
Speak some sense into you.
Yeah. I agree.
Smart, like, highly. I'm not joking. When friends work, because they can't just,
Yeah. You need. Some people may need to even see the counselor to help you acquaint yourself with what is there, what you are dealing with, that made you come to a point where you feel like, I want out, but I don't know how to get out. And my hope is that whoever that is in this place is not under some form of abuse, because sometimes that also can be something. The tendencies of abusers. The thing is, they're very narcissistic. The abusers, they, invalidate how you feel. So every time when you have to make a certain decision, whether to leave them, they make you question whether what you are doing is right. And as if you are the one who's insane and they are perfect. And even how they communicate with your group of friends is, I don't know what's wrong with this person, because this and this, you are dealing with people who operate within that space. And so I really hope that it and you are right, sometimes it will take you, sometimes more than you have to have friends who can kind of help you navigate this, but also help you understand and see things differently.
and also I think a family of believers, and that is why you transform.
Oh yeah.
We are here for support. We are here to walk with you through the journey.
I like that. I like that.
But no, in all seriousness,
Yeah,
I
like
forgot to give the address.
right here.
Yeah. So we really hope that people find courage to move on, acquaint themselves with the reality and what the situation is than what they hope it will be. Assess it from what you see at hand, not from what you hope and what you have experienced in the past, because those can sometimes distract you from dealing with what is current. This person promised to marry you, your family has already met them, some of your close friends have already met them, and all of those things that makes things even worse. Or they have treated you this way in the past, and you keep on interpreting their behavior based on the past to say, but it's not like this. Maybe something is wrong with this person. Maybe stuff like that. So get help. Also, if you want to reach out to us, we can give some advice. If you want to reach out to a counselor or do that, so that you will be in a healthier space.
I think it also helps to be real with yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Not lie to yourself. You know, to know that this person is bad or I'm bad.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it helps you move on.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
And just on what you're saying, own it.
Yeah.
Own that decision that you're making and that
Yes.
assessment.
Ah,
Don't try and wait for
Someone's
Oaks or Mac
validation,
to
yes.
confirm it.
yes,
Tepang.
yes.
Or Tepang,
Yes.
yes, to confirm it.
Yes.
Because especially Tepang. Because when if you don't own it, it makes it even difficult to move on. Let's say in the long run, this person showed signs of being, a red flag and all of that, and you decide to leave, and you are hotspotting conviction from other people that Chomi, leave him, he's bad values, like this. In the long run, he's most likely to change, and now you're gonna be like, if only I had stayed a little bit longer. But that shouldn't be the feel. Even though they become a better person, even though they
Tomorrow,
become successful, you own it in the sense that I made a decision based on what I experienced then, and what I needed at the time. And not drown in the misery of, if only I had stayed a bit longer, if only I had begezelat.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I want to add, but I think time, the issue of owning up to the decision that you are making is also so that when someone question it, you will hold on to it. When you say, I want to leave, and this person who's your abuser saying, are you sure? You were like, oh, but you don't treat me this way. You begin to retreat, to say, you want something else. When you know that you have had it, and it has just become too much. You are the unmet expectations and stuff like that. I think you need to own up to that decision and.
As we close, I don't know if we're
Let's close it.
Can we talk to the person, the lady or the man, the boy or the girl, who is, let's say, a firm believer, person who's just intentionally living for God, in terms of righteousness and holiness and all the good stuff, and they happen to be in the situation where the relationship didn't work, and they have to move on, and they're hurt, and they're ostracizing themselves. I hope I'm using that word in the right context. And they're just like, I should have done this. I'm not holy enough because now my relationship didn't work, or God is not pleased with me. How do you talk? What do we say to that person?
Oh,
can we say next week?
Okay.
Is that fine?
Should come back next week.
Yes, please.
I think it's a very important question, and I think we need to give it
attention.
The attention that it deserves.
Okay.
But that's a really good question, and
maybe you pluggers need to grapple with this question with us, so that when we reconvene on the next episode, then we go into it informed a little bit more, because I think that's an important question. We really appreciate that. So friends, you have already heard Sapang is planning to be with us next week, because she raised this question. So we will take it from there. Thank you very much, friends and family, for joining, for tuning. We hope that this episode was useful for you, was helpful in some sense, and we are planning to be here next week, same time, same place, same people. Yes, so from the three of us, remain connected.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Let's harmonize it. 1, 2, 3.
Ciao.